What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge here on the Venator Trading YouTube channel. We're live. It is Tuesday, November 7th. It is 7 a.m. New York time. So good morning to everyone here stateside. Good afternoon to everyone on the other side of the pond, and good evening to all of you on the other side of the world. Hope you're having a great Tuesday so far. Hope your trading session has been everything that you dreamed it would be so far on this glorious Tuesday morning. So glad to be here with you every single day. We're back again at it. Hold on, I got to shut my door real quick. Dog came in and don't want to wake up the wife. She's getting all of her beauty sleep in. Back on the charts, not a lot of news here today. No real major economic news coming out. Had a couple orders set overnight that I posted on Discord. Nothing got triggered in. We got no pops. All we got was drops. I had a euro dollar order set. I was hoping that we would pop up above the Asia session and get back up into these levels here, into some of these breaker blocks, and then get the drop, but all we've had was really drop. So I'll be looking for sells here this morning, just to get a pullback from that London move down. We'll be looking for some dollar strength. So as the dollar pulls back, excuse me, as the dollar pulls back and retraces that London move, I'll be looking for some sells. Some buys on the dollar, which would be selling the euro dollar, selling pound dollar. Just looking for a classic sell day. So we're going to sell London, and we're going to get a short pullback here at some point. I'm not sure exactly where I want to sell it from. I'm just going to do some analysis here on that. And but I'll be looking to short this again. I yesterday told you that I was slightly bearish on foreigns, or slightly bearish on the dollar. The dollar rallied. We went over this yesterday when we were looking at the DXY chart. We talked about how this could be, and I may. We were in this big accumulation phase. So this is all just sideways price action. We're just accumulating. We're just engineering liquidity all in and around this area. There's a trading model called accumulation, manipulation, distribution, wherein you get this accumulation, you're going to get a manipulation of that to one side or the other, and then you get distribution of price aggressively in the opposite direction. And we had said that there are two scenarios we're looking at here. This was a break of structure, leaving behind a fair value gap that it would trade back into and then send prices lower. Or this was an accumulation. This is a manipulation outside of that zone into liquidity, into a monthly fair value gap, which would then push price higher up into these buy-side liquidity targets. I've been targeting, if you've watched the stream for any length of time now, you remember I've been talking about and aiming for this 108 area here for the dollar. We ran right up to it. We've accumulated. We've now manipulated. I think we're probably going to head up that way. We are inside now. We tapped right into this monthly fair value gap, and we've rejected off of it nicely here. And if you look at that specifically, we tapped right into the 50% level of that fair value gap, which is just a nice little equilibrium point, turning point for your legs or your fair value gaps or your order blocks or your breaker blocks. Tapped right into that 50% level of that fair value gap, rebalanced price, and now we're rejecting off of it right now. Potential, you get this down, this retrace here off of this massive move up on the dollar. You've just seen price climb for 12, 13 weeks in a row, which up until this point on any time period I have on my chart, it's never done. you're anticipating a weak, some weakness, some pullback back into these breaker blocks, into these order blocks, and that's what we've gotten. And now we're getting some move away. we took out yesterday's or last week's low, and we just began to push back up higher now. So here we are. If this fair value gap right here, this is daily fair value gap, you're going to want to see the dollar close outside of it. It doesn't have to do that today, but you're going to want to see this fair value gap be disrespected right there. You're going to want to see it close above that point. If it closes above that point, then you could anticipate this fair value gap acting as support. It should act as resistance right now. It should hold price down. It should want to rebalance this and then move lower. If it closes outside of this, that's your signal to be looking to see more dollar strength back up into this fair value gap, up into this volume imbalance that we had this gap down last week. So my initial draw on liquidity would be this little volume imbalance here. Whoops, it's not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted. So we'll just watch this today, but I will be looking for some buying the dollar, selling foreign currencies attached to the dollar. Any pullbacks we get here in the New York session, I'll be looking to fade those. Aussie dollar had some news come out overnight, had the interest rate decision drop, which further weakened the Aussie against the dollar and against most pairs. So we'll be looking to sell. We've tapped into the sell side liquidity here. We're getting a little bit of a reaction off of that. Any move we get back up above these old highs, if it wants to reach up into this fair value gap here, just above these relative equal highs, if it wants to aggressively run up, I'll be looking to sell off of these areas up here. Euro dollar, let's just go back over here for now. From the London high to the current low, somewhere up in this order block would be a good selling opportunity. 30-minute order block. If it wants to reach up even higher, this 1 hour order block. So as price wants to come back up into this, if it can move back up into a premium level or a discount level off of this move, you don't want to sell when price is low. You want to sell when price is high. So when you get these legs down, you want to wait for these pullbacks. This is where a lot of traders get caught up and they see price running and they feel like they're missing a move and they just start selling. And price is already at the lows. Wait for the pullback. Price very rarely just moves in one direction continuously. You're going to get small pullbacks. I want to sell when it's above 50% of the last leg down. Now you could use this one and target that. I would like to use just the 1 o'clock hour London session time as my swing point to pull my fibs off of. So if we get any moves back above that 50% level there, I'll be looking to sell. I think this 30-minute order block will be my key level here. I want to see price stay below that. If we're going to see lower prices, I want to see that these bearish PD arrays, price delivery arrays, premium discount arrays, I want to see all of these be respected as we come back up into them. And if they are, then you'll continue to trade with the trend. And you have your, my first target here on euro dollar would be inside this wick right here. About 50% of this daily wick from Thursday that created that's the candle that first created the fair value gap. So that'd be my first target on euro dollar if we can get any movement back up here in the New York session. Be looking to sell in and around these areas. Pound dollar, very similar. They move often. Often they moved. They replicate each other. So our move up off of London, we could just pull from here. Same story. Any pullbacks back up into this order block on the 1 hour, this one on the 30 minutes, somewhere up in here. I want to see price get back up above. There's a nice little, not really. The prettiest fair value gap is up here inside the OTE. If it wants to run that hard and that high, fine with me. Just gives me a bigger leg to sell down. So we still have a lot of room down here to fill in this fair value gap on pound. So that would be targets would be down in there, in and around filling up this full fair value gap there. I'm going to look at gold. I did have a small gold order set last night. I was wanting to see, let's see, where were we? So I set that order. I was wanting it to pull back up into this order block right here, this 3 candle order block. And when I set that order, price was right around here. I was hoping we get a pop in London up into this order block here, rebalance some of those fair value gaps, and then drop. And all we did was get the drop. We are now approaching on gold. We've taken out many sell side liquidity targets. This is the one that I'm most interested to see if it wants to attack or not. It failed to make a new high. It kept making lower highs, made a new lower high, and has since fallen off. So if the dollar wants to remain strong and find strength, you would anticipate some gold weakness here. Gold did have a massive pump up. This massive pump up, price probably wants to rebalance some of this and take out buy side liquidity, and now we're getting displacement after taking out all of this buy side liquidity here, and then reached up one more time into this fair value gap right here, rebalanced that, and now we're dropping away. That's on a daily time frame. So your initial target is this sell side liquidity, and then this fair value gap right in here, right below that swing low. So those are some draws on liquidity for gold. Of course, we have a toxic relationship with the Gilded Gal here on the Venator Trading Channel. So I would, again, be looking for pullbacks. Any manipulation or big wicks up, I'll be looking to sell off of those levels. This is a pretty aggressive drop here. So I don't know which one of these here's the midnight open. Pull back up into these levels, potentially up into these fair value gaps here. Maybe you could sell off of that. I don't know if it gets up there this morning or today. Aussie dollar, same. Be looking to sell this anytime we can reach. We already went over that. Dollar, what else are we looking at here? Dollar yen. Dollar's got a lot of strength behind it. Could be reaching up for a rebalance of this fair value gap here on the 4-hour time frame to take out this liquidity, which aligns with that. Rebalance this BPR. You had a fair value gap this way. You have a fair value gap going down, disrespecting it. It's kind of coming back up into it. It's disrespected this fair value gap here, closed above it, and it's left behind several more. So any pullbacks here, dollar yen, you could potentially look to buy. Pound Aussie, just kind of manipulating or just kind of consolidating here a little bit. The Aussie's weak and the pound is weak, and so they're just kind of in who wants to be weaker moment, and you're not really getting a whole lot of anything on that. My Bitcoin sell, I'm still waiting for a pop up into liquidity here. It didn't happen. I really wanted to get in this last week on this sell down. We didn't get the pop above, and then it's come back up. It's rebalanced this fair value gap here. Was really hoping, and it's engineered more liquidity here on the buy side. There's plenty on the sell side, plenty of liquidity on the sell side that it's going to want to tap into. I just was hoping we would get a pop up above this liquidity first before it starts running this sell side liquidity. All these swing lows, pick up all these orders. If it wants to go higher, it's going to run lower first to pick up this liquidity, these orders down here. Buyers that want to buy Bitcoin to go higher, they're going to want to buy in a discount. So they're going to wait for price to retrace. And oftentimes they will introduce selling pressure so that they can come down to the price that they want. That's how liquidity works. All right, so still waiting on that. GJ, this fair value gap here on the daily, the daily time frame right here. This fair value gap inside here, we've yet to tap back into. We're still trading inside yesterday's high and low. And it's left that swing low, came right down to this liquidity, and then it's left it, and now it's pushing back up here on pound yen. We'll see how it does with these fair value gaps. If it wants to disrespect those, close those. If it wants to reach up into this higher one first. This leg down, right inside that 50% line. If you would and I'm using that one because here's your hourly time frame, which is, you can see these legs clearer and cleaner on the higher time frames. You had a run of liquidity, you've had displacement, you've got some a breaker block up here. You also have one here just above. Last down move, last down close candle, price runs up into buy side liquidity, and then you get displacement away, leaving behind fair value gaps. It's inside one right now on the hourly. Basically filled it all in. There's another higher one right up into here, which would align with that breaker. So not sure if it wants to run that hard, but if it does, I would probably be interested in selling pound yen and taking out that liquidity. All right, we're getting our pullbacks here on euro dollar and pound dollar. It's reaching up into this 30-minute order block just now as we're talking here. And again, I want to see it try to get up into this discount level before I start looking for sells. And same on pound. I want to see it get up into that, above that 50% discount level there. I want to see it reach back up into here and sell this from a higher price point. Take advantage of these pullback. You get this run, you get a pullback, and then we're going to sell it and continue the downward pressure trend here. All right, while we're waiting for that to happen, let me jump over to the chat and say good morning to a few people. Cisco, good morning. Corey, always a good morning to see you, my friend. Beeswax, what's going on? Adrian Joseph. Adrian, I never heard, did you get your account details set up, man, from the 10K giveaway I did Friday? Hopefully you got all that squared away. Warren, spamming highs. Good to see Warren in here. Always good to see Mr. Buffett join our stream. And he got real happy with the HI keys on the keyboard today. So glad you're here, man. Mr. Alfie, what's going on? Brad, when you go over GA, can you give your views on why Aussie interest rate went up, but Aussie sold off? Yeah, it's very interesting to me. I was expecting the Aussie to find strength. I think from my understanding, Cisco, is that though they raised the rate, they came out very dovish after this, and they came out and they were like, hey, we're raising it, but we feel pretty confident that we're not raising anymore. And so the market responded with the opposite direction of what you would consider an interest rate hike. They saw the hike, which they were anticipating, but what they were not anticipating was for the commentary to be, we're probably done after this. And so that's why the Aussie has shown a lot of weakness as people begin to start pricing in future cuts and anticipating future cuts on the Aussie dollar interest rate. So I think that's where your weakness is coming in from. George Tucker, good morning, my friend. Good afternoon to you. Red Ezekiel, what's up? What's up? Good afternoon, sir. Top Triller from South Africa. Welcome in, my friend. Owen, welcome back, buddy. Hope those midterms are over. I saw your message over in the Discord. It's time to get Owen on the stream. I'm going to try to line up a few guests for next week. I need to do some testing on my end to see the best way to get them, how I can utilize Streamlabs. The way I have Streamlabs set up right now, it's the only way I know how to do it. I'm sure there's another way, but it only allows, like, I could bring someone else in and you could see them, but they wouldn't be able to use my chart or share their screen the way I have it currently set up. So I need to do some investigation on how to get guests onto the stream with me and then allow them the ability to share their screen so that they can go over how they see the charts and their technical analysis and their strategies and talk us through some of that. So I need to do some investigation. It's time to get Owen on and hear his story. Onsab, good morning. Loyalty family. Anyone who watched the video of Pascal who sold gold at 2,000 and targeting 65, running with over 250K on a real ICM market account off 30K US dollars. That's insane, man. That's crazy. Pretty crazy, I do say. It's pretty crazy. I have not seen the video, but Adrian, yes, I got it. I was busy yesterday, didn't get to answer. Oh, no worries, man. I just wanted to make sure you got all set up there. Trader Rex, man, good morning, my friend. Welcome into the stream. Good to have you guys here. We've gone over our pre-market analysis, what we're looking for as we head into the New York session here. And we're just chilling and waiting now. I know what I want to see. I know what I'm looking for. And we'll wait to see if we get it. I want to see Aussie come up into this level here a little bit before I just jump into a sell. I want to see it reach up into this fair value gap right there. What's dollar yen doing? Not much here. Not much there. Somebody wants to see loyalty fingers. Look at pound CAD. Yeah, we can check out pound CAD for sure. Pound yen reaching up right into that order block there. My bias on pound dollar just went over that, but I'm looking to sell it currently. It's obviously showing a lot of weakness. I think the dollar is going to find some strength. Any pullbacks that we get, I'm going to be trying to look for sells in and around these areas. I'd like to see it get back up above the 50% line, either one of these, but I want to see it get up into, I'd like to see it get up into this area here before I look to sell pound dollar. Let's jump over to pound CAD. Pound CAD, let's see. Let's jump up here on the weekly time frame. Let's get over here. Come on. So we've had a lot of sell side liquidity get tapped into. We're running back above. We had a closure above this fair value gap. We're trading inside this fair value gap. Breaker structure, lower low. This could be a lower high being put in here. I don't know. It's trading inside this fair value gap right now. What's the monthly time frame doing? So we've had this big drop, come back up. We fell to make a new high here. We did have a bearish order block be put in. We've come back up into it. It's higher time frames. Displaced above this, displaced above that. Taking out last week's high. Could be the high of the week there. We closed above this fair value gap here. You would anticipate that acting as resistance. Once that's violated, We've got a bullish order block here. These two down close candles we displaced and closed above with an inverted fair value gap with some wicks. Yeah, I think I'm probably leaning bullish here. So any pullbacks down into this daily or weekly, whatever that is, fair value gap we identified, plus into some of these fair value gaps, into these order blocks, any pullbacks into this, I'd be looking to buy that. We're just engineering liquidity right now. We're just moving sideways. So we're just in the accumulation phase. We would wait for manipulation and then distribution up. So accumulation, wait for the manipulation of sell side liquidity, and then run up higher. That's my quick and dirty analysis on it. Hold on a second. Puppies can't make up their minds today where they want to be. If you're struggling with your trading and you just can't figure out how to get into profitability, might I suggest the teakwood and oak candle from the Leo Bin Candle Company. Ever since I've started using them, lighting them up before my trading session, I've never lost a trade. I've never gone into drawdown. Ever. It's impossible with the Leo Bin teakwood and oak candle. Sarcasm intended. It does smell amazing, though. It is the secret sauce. It is the holy grail of trading. Yes, it is. Get one, man. They smell so good. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Oh, all right. Let's go. Would like to see Aussie pull up into these highs. Euro dollar reaching right up into this order block here and finding some resistance as you would expect it to. I just wanted to see it make a little bit of a deeper dig into this order block here. I don't know that we're going to get it, but that's what I want to see. I don't want to just sell from this position right here. I want to see it get into above the 50% of that last leg down. And even if you use this leg, it's still not there. So I'm just going to use that higher leg. Get the price that I want where I want it before we do anything else. I'm anticipating a sell. Good. As long as it's in line with your trading strategy and you understand why you're doing what you're doing, where you're doing it, and you're following your rules and your trade management plan, you need to execute the trades that you see. Good afternoon, Bakong. Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. Dollar pulling back into that order block here. I mean, just look at the upward price action here. We just ran liquidity, tapped into this monthly fair value gap. This red line is the top of the monthly fair value gap. We made a deep dig into it, and now we're just pushing up back outside of that fair value gap. Pretty impressive price action. Still have quite a bit of room here to close in this fair value gap from last week to dive into and create this wick on the monthly. So we'll wait and see if we can get our pullbacks or not. We'll wait and see. I'm going to pull back up to pound yen here. Don't know. Yen's really weak. I don't really want to sell yen. Even if the pound is weak, the yen is weaker. And even with all of the intervention from the Bank of Japan, you're going to get the spikes down to try to strengthen and support it. But it's just economics and data and numbers, and there's no way around the financial situation the Bank of Japan finds themselves in with interest rates, bond markets, debt. They're kind of in a very dire situation over there. Yes, keep coming up. Thank you. Let's get that sell. Oh. Where's Mr. Alfie with our dad joke of the day? You got to make it up from yesterday, my friend. Yesterday was pretty weak. I got to admit, I was a little disappointed with the Velociraptor joke. We've heard you've had so many better ones, and it's time to redeem yourself. Give it your best shot. I do not use the currency strength indicator. The DXY is my currency strength indicator and the eyeballs in my head when I look at the charts. I don't use any indicators. I can just look at price action and tell you where the liquidity is and the draws on liquidity. And I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it's bad to use them if you don't have a clear understanding or a clear bias. Cool. If it helps bring clarity to how you're viewing the markets, more power to you. I just don't use them. Again, I'm not opposed to using them. I just find that I don't really need it. Tap into this trend line here. Sorry, I still have this stupid cough hanging around from when I was sick about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. Just this little dry hack that irritated lungs. Oh. Change of seasons, temperature changes and fluctuations, fall allergies. I think it's a combination of all that, but I just get these little hacks in my throat, and they're not fun. Let's see, what time is that? Let's see. What's up, Saeem? Welcome in, buddy. Haven't seen you in a few days. Good evening. Don't you think selling now would be risky? Selling euro dollar a pound? No, why? Why would it be risky? I'm not selling. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a pullback. Number one. Trading in line with the London move. The London often sets the tone for the day. And we've had nothing but selling action off of the London. So I'm looking for New York to pull back and give an opportunity for New York sellers to participate in the market. I have been bullish dollar for a long time, and we have manipulated down below these lows, and now we're getting displacement. So you get a quick stab down and you're getting displacement higher. So it all lines up with my anticipation and expectation that I've held for quite a while. On GU, not looking to sell until it gets back up above into a premium level here that I could sell off of. I want to sell high. So I want to see it dig up. Potentially into this, get above 50%, maybe above these highs here, just stab up into it. Based on seasonal tendency results, I think dollar will be bullish for the month of November. Seasonal tendencies are powerful and you should be aware of them, but don't just set a bias based on seasonal tendencies. Look at the price action. Look at the price action. You cannot just blindly pull a bias because we entered November. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but just off that statement alone, I know a lot of people think like that. And so they're like, it's November, look at the seasonal tendency, it should be bullish. You have no idea. Look at the price action. Look where the liquidity lies. Let that determine your bias. Often it will line up with your seasonal tendency. Now you might use that seasonal tendency as part of your trading plan to say, hey, seasonally, when you look at the last X number of years, the dollar is bullish overall during the month of November. Okay, well, cool. Let's see if it aligns up this year. It doesn't do it every year. So let's see, does the price action and the market structure and the liquidity, does the way the dollar is moving, does that align with and support the idea that the seasonal tendency will be in place again this year? So don't just use the seasonal tendency information that you have to form a trading plan around. It can be a piece of your trading plan, but it should not be the whole thing. This candle, y'all, smells so good. Just makes me happy. Technically, every trade is risky. That is the truest trading statement of the day award goes to Cisco. Every trade is risky. Every trade you take, you have no idea what's going to happen. No idea. You should assume the loss and accept the risk as soon as you place that buy or sell. Push that buy or sell button. Just accept the loss immediately. I have a tweet coming out later today I have scheduled that deals with that same topic. It just is basically saying it's kind of a mindset hack. It's like if you can just, before you place a trade, before you hit the button or before your order is triggered, accept the loss. Assume it's going to go into drawdown. Assume it's going to hit your stop loss. Mentally go to the place where you can look at your P&L or your percentage loss and gain, and that amount that you're risking is gone off of that account. Just accept that it's already gone. That way, when it goes into drawdown, you were right. If it hits your stop loss, you were right. You accepted it. And then, if it wins or you're able to take some profits, that's icing on the cake, and you just feel better about it. So either way, you can convince yourself that you were right. So it's just kind of a mindset hack. Accept the risk going into every trade you take. Know and just assume that it's probably going to lose. And that way, when it does lose, it doesn't wreck you emotionally so much. All right, you're seeing a couple of candles of resistance here off of this level. I don't know that we're going to get a higher push up. Gold is still extremely weak, running for that swing low. Aussie not able to push up into its fair value gap, respecting the order block. I think I would be most interested in selling pound yen, but I don't like selling yen, man. Selling the yen just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, other than the fact that there's a very clear draw on liquidity here off of this swing low that it left in place. That's the only reason I would want to sell the yen. I don't really like that. It just doesn't feel right to me. Pound Aussie, there's nothing going on here. Aussie, I would want to see a move back up into here. And your initial, you could look for a full fill of this fair value gap right there, potentially. Gosh, so tired of that freaking cough, man. May want to sell. May want a little bit of a deeper pullback there. Right up, potentially up into this order block there, which would align with this inverted fair value gap. And you could still target the fill of that gap. Miserable, man. Let's see here. Muhammad Saim says, when the 4-hour breaker on EU got disrespected, my bias left the chat. Honestly, I'm definitely going down to fill the 1 hour for value gap. Cisco and Award. Sweet. I expect to receive the 100K funded account details by the end of the day. Well, yeah, just reach out to John about that and he'll set you up with that 100K funded account. All right. And if you can get Leo, if you can get me a sponsorship with the Leo Ben Candle Company and get me an unlimited supply of the teak wood and oak candles, I'll set you up with a funded account. Challenge. Absolutely. First person that can get me a sponsorship with the Leo Ben Candle Company, I will give you a 10K challenge. 100%. It's yours. Oh. Do it, Saeem. Let's go. I couldn't find a way to contact them. Send them screenshots of all of my my wonderful advertisements. They're getting free advertisement from me, man. I got to figure out a way to monetize that. Ooh. Now we wait. This is the part of trading that most traders get chopped up in. They can't stand sitting around waiting. They want to be in a trade. They can't deal with the pain of not being in a trade. The pain of I'm not making any money. You can't make money trading if you're not taking trades, right? So you have this constant pain of I want to make money. I want to pass challenges. I want to get payouts. And sitting around watching candles print and watching price move, you're not making money. And you have to be able to deal with that emotional battle happening inside of you. You've got to be able to step outside of yourself, have the maturity to understand that you're waiting for your entry. You're waiting for your setup. It doesn't matter what's going on in the charts in between where your entry is and where price is. It doesn't matter. Don't do anything until price gets to where you want it to be. Then strike. What's up, Dunamis? Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in. What I would like to see is the next hourly candle push up a little bit higher on pound and here on euro. I'd like to see that next hourly candle push right back up into here and then come to fill in this fair value gap. That's the play we're looking for. I need to get some cough drops is what I need. I just hate sucking on them all day long. Screenshots of a video don't show the great quality adverts you made. I have made some really good ones, man. The whole conversation we had yesterday was a great segue into how the Teakwood and Oak Leo Ben Candle Company can drastically improve your life. The amount of flatulence that comes out of the human body on average on a daily basis. Teakwood and Oak, it's your answer. It's your answer. Truly is. This last hourly candle has no bottom wick. And we all know that the market does not like to leave no wicks behind. Another reason I'm looking for a sell here. I don't think the low of the day is in yet. That GJ sell looks clean. It's the second distribution phase of typical market maker sell model. The GJ sell, again, it's just, selling against the yen right now just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I understand what you're saying. The setup does look clean. I've had a run of liquidity. We've had displacement lower. There's still a draw on liquidity. You're also tapping into sell side and you're getting displacement away. So you're running sell side. You get this quick dip down, but now you're getting a very quick and steep reaction off of that sell side liquidity. And the yen's been super weak. I just don't know that I can sell that. I mean, it is the London high. High of the day could be in. Yeah, it's a tough one for me. Look at the 4 hour, looks clean, but without news, I don't know if it will be efficient price delivery. On the 4 hour, I mean, on the 4 hour, This is more in line with the bullish bias. You're putting in a higher low to run those highs again. So I don't know, man. That's a ugly candle there. Massive rejection, grab sell side liquidity and start pushing higher. I really think you could flip this and last down close candle, run sell side liquidity, displace through. You've got a nice little breaker set up here to keep in line with the higher time frame trend. So what I was just saying was right here, this last down close candle, up close candle, we ran up and then we just immediately ran down quickly into sell side liquidity. Now we're getting displacement higher. If you got a continued displacement up, it could be a breaker setup right here. I don't know, man. I'm torn on GJ because on these lower time frames, I can definitely make a case for this draw on liquidity down here. But on the higher time frame, the yen is super weak, and any moves down into sell side liquidity have resulted in aggressive buying. So do. I guess Mr. Alfie checked out, or he just doesn't have the dad joke game on point right now, and is hesitating to throw the next one out there, or he's furiously searching Google for his dad joke comeback. Still haven't heard from our sidekick John this morning either. I thought for sure when I told Cisco to reach out to John for his 100K account details, I thought John would pipe in, but he didn't take the bait. He's not here. He could be not here. It's unlike that. He's usually like, I'm always here. I think I would want to see something like that potentially on euro dollar. Maybe right up in here. Let's see on pound. What am I looking for here? I think that's what I'm looking for on pound here. And I think this is what I'm looking for on euro. Don't really like the Aussie setup as much as the others. There's just not as much downside. And I don't have I mean, this little tiny order block there. I don't like the stop and risk reward ratio on Aussie dollar like I do on euro and pound. Oh, I thought you were talking about another John. It's nice knowing I'm the only John in your life. You're the only John on the stream. Let's see. Do I have you? You may be the only John in my life. Let me think about that for a second. No, you're not. Instantly, I thought of two other Johns that I interact with frequently. You're the only John on the stream, though. I don't get computer streaming issues. Coming into the hourly close here, and this is where I think we're either going to catch a move or we're not on this next hourly push. What is the NAS doing? NAS is just consolidating from yesterday. It hasn't. Yesterday we had a big move up on Friday. Yesterday just did really nothing. And then we're just in this big accumulation. So what do we look for when we see accumulation? We're going to look for a manipulation to one side or the other. It's already had it once. I would just look for yesterday's high and low to be manipulated and then see displacement away from that. So that's just kind of what I'm looking for on NAS. It definitely feels like there's a lot of trend line here that it wants to run into and it's resting up against right now. So if it wants to go lower, grabbing some buy side liquidity to go lower is great. But when you look at this on the daily, what's it done? It's tapped into sell side liquidity. It's cleared out these relative equal lows right here aggressively. So bam, like hard aggressive run into the sell side liquidity. Where did it go? It went right over here into this fair value gap to rebalance it. Fair value gaps are so powerful, y'all. Comes right down into this fair value gap, rebalances it, and then we've had immediate aggressive run higher. Feels very bullish to me. We're going to need, to me, I want to see a strong close above the swing level would indicate we're probably running for all-time highs on the NAS. Be my gut reaction. Trend line, retail is anybody who's short NAS is going to be using this trend line here, and we all know that retail likes to be liquidity for the market makers. So seeing stop runs up here, you might see an aggressive stop above this trend line, aggressive run up into that high above that trend line, and then you see another. There's a lot of imbalance here, a lot of fair value gap here, inefficient price action on the daily time frame. May want to see a reversal off of that before it wants to run higher again. So I don't know. Right now it's just doing nothing. Right now it's just moving sideways, and there's nothing to look at. On Discord, someone reached out to me to say hi that I didn't know, thought it might be Warren or one of the Ferguson twins, but it was only a scammer. Ferguson twins are scammers, are they not? The fact that they're the Ferguson twins is all you need to know. I probably get reached out to on Discord 4 times a day. I probably get 4 direct message or friend invites a day from scammers. They spend, I don't understand the effort the amount of these people go through to try to get people to scam. It's pretty insane. All right, into the 8 o'clock hour. So what I want to see here on the 8 o'clock hour, I want to see this candle open, put in a wick, and I want to sell the top of this hourly candle and head lower. That's my goal here, is to take out the previous hourly high and get above this, back into a premium level here and sell it off. We'll see if it wants to cooperate. We'll see if it wants to cooperate. On the dollar, we would need to see a push down from the dollar here before we start continuing higher. And Aussie continuing to show weakness here. GJ closing, pushing it up now here on this hourly. Back into that top fair value gap now. Here on the 30-minute, breaking above these order blocks. And closing. If you look at the 10-minute, this little 10-minute candle right here, last up close candle. We're on liquidity, we're getting displacement through. Could be setting up a nice little buy here. Can initially target those highs, but I would probably be looking at a fill of that fair value gap at least. Almost a 1 to 2. That's a decent. I don't want to do less than 1 to 2. You could target those swing highs. You could target this fair value gap up here, a retest of that. You could also just target new overall highs altogether. So we'll see. Probably put my stop down here below the bodies of these candles. Euro dollar starting to push up on this hourly. Oh. Pound as well. All right, we're getting what we want as far as what I would like, where I would like to sell from. I'm starting to see price cooperate, but it's not there yet. We still got, another 12 or 15 pips here on pound dollar, and we've got, 0694, 0794. I mean, we've still got a good ways to go on another 12 pips on euro as well. You're saying Bastion made 4 new accounts. Wow. Do you think EU is putting in low of the week? Potentially. I mean, if you're going to see continued dollar weakness, this could be where it's at. But if you have any inclination to remain a dollar strength, then I mean, this could be the low of the week right here. If you have that bias, not a bad plan. Life choices, I guess. John Jones Cisco. Muhammad says, I'm going to go now. Everyone, sorry for not being a couple of weeks. I'm waking up at 6 a.m. now and trading Asian trying to fit myself with the routine. I'll be back soon. Have a great day. See you, Saeem. I'm glad you're here for when you are here. It's always good to have one of the OGs in the chat. Oh. Ugh. What do I have this morning? See how long we can stream for. Easy day. It's election day here in the States. Not a national elections or anything, but all your state and local elections happening. What is making that noise? Is it under here? I don't know if y'all can hear that. Every time I move my desk, there's a rattle. Oh, it's my coffee cup. It's driving me nuts. I'm like, where is that coming from? GU making a push higher here. EU making a push higher here. What I like to see. What I like to see. Right into that 50% level. EU still not quite there. Did you watch the market? Oh man, John, I haven't watched it yet. I was super busy yesterday. I have not had a chance to watch the market profile video. I need to. Let me see. I might be able to get to it this afternoon. I have a couple things this morning I'm gonna have to do and take care of up and through lunch, and then I might have time this afternoon. Hooligan says the sells on EU meet my rules too. Cool. Well, a lot of us are seeing the same thing. Seems to have its foundation on pit trading in terms of how auctions work. It's a very interesting concept for sure. And I do want to learn about it. If all us retail sell, I might buy. Yeah, just fade Venator. It's probably the wisest course of trading. Just fade Venator. Probably. I know if firms, when I first started trading for the first 2 or 3 years, if firms just reverse traded all of my trades, I would have kept many firms in business and made them very wealthy if they had reverse traded all of my trades. Oh. Well, I don't know that we're going to get a deeper push up here. I really wanted to see price get up there. That's what I wanted to see, so I don't know that we're going to get that though. Yeah, man, fading market sentiment is if everybody's like, "Oh, I'm buying EU," finding a spot to sell it may isn't always a bad play. A lot of weakness here off of GU off this first 15-minute candle. That may have been the push up. Just didn't get up to where I wanted it to go. Gold running for that swing low right there. Fair value gap underneath it down here. I mean, gold's just been tanking. Yeah, the I know there's a lot of people that are contrarian traders, and so they just try to get a gauge for where the majority of the market wants to be, and then they go do the opposite. It needs to be much higher than the majority. True. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely needs to be the. What number did you say? Like 80%, something like that. What is teak wood? What kind of wood is that? Not really sure. Why does it smell so good? Teakwood is a dense, close-grained type of hardwood that is sourced from the Tectona grandis tree, native to South and Southeast Asia. Teak is originally golden in color and has a smooth grain and texture. In Myanmar, teak is under sanctions in the United States, the UK, Canada, and in the EU for its role in bankrolling the military junta in Myanmar. Not only that, but teak logging in Myanmar is a leading cause of deforestation. That's interesting. Teakwood is the hardest. Oh, this is crazy. Teakwood is the hardest, most durable, and strongest of hardwoods, making it the perfect material for outdoor furniture that lasts, used in shipbuilding since the Middle Ages. It continues to be used today in the construction of ships and high-end yachts and boats. Another doggy coming in to say good morning. Hello, Bitta. May need to go potty. Mom's not up yet. I may need to go let them out. Scare away the boogeyman. The import and sale of teak in the United States is illegal. It's crazy. Smells good. As long as we can keep reproducing the scent, I'm totally fine with that. You can go get a feel of that by analyzing open interest as well as delta divergence in the bid-ask. I don't know anything about delta divergence. Not a thing. I've heard it talked about. I don't know anything about delta divergence. Not one thing. Look at that breaker on the GJ paying off. Look at that. 10-minute up close, run liquidity, displace higher. Comes back right down into that breaker, and off we go. It's got some sell side inefficiencies it's going to need to violate and deal with before it can run that high, but so far it is doing all of that. I'm glad I did not sell GJ. It may still want to reverse up inside this fair value gap here, but which it's reached up to in the 30-minute time frame. But this has the classic signs of a run of liquidity and then displacement higher. And yen's been very weak, so not looking to fade the yen right now. I mean, not looking to fade the pound yen. So I think what I'm going to do is I still like my GU setup here. What are we on here? I think what I'm going to do is risk 1.5%. And I'm going to throw in right there above those relative equal highs. I'll put the stop above the London high, which would be there. So about 20 pips. And I would be targeting, I may not get there today. I don't know if I would hold this overnight, but what's 50% of that fair value gap right there? At least 0.27. All right. I'm going to get Eurodollar set up first. So I want to pull back right into that order block there. Stop up above that. And all right, so I'm going to set up a sell limit here on Eurodollar. 06946 and a 07081 and 06515. All right, so there I've got a limit order set on EU. And GU. Now, price just did not get back up above. It's starting to show some weakness here. It may still want to come up and give one more, take out those highs, get into that order block a little bit more. I wanted to see price make a deeper run into that London move. Get back up into that order block right there. An aggressive play here on a 5-minute time frame would be a breaker block strategy setup. We've had a run of liquidity, getting a fair value gap. If you could get a pull back up into this area here, you could potentially use that lower time frame scalp and draw liquidity. I don't prefer to do that, but not out of the question. Man, I'm glad I did not sell GJ. Kind of wish I would have listened to my analysis as I was talking it out and took that breaker right there. Dogs are late today, yeah. They're waiting for Mama to get up. All right, I'm going to do I've got a sell limit on EU, sell limit on GU. The GU is going to be 23158 for my entry. 23338. And 22309. Set an alert there. And we'll set an alert here. If it breaks those lows, we'll cancel that order. And on euro dollar, same, we'll set an alert down here. If it breaks those lows, we'll cancel that order. Oh, I hear Mama up. I may hear some dogs barking here in a second. I have this little on my teakwood and oak candle. It doesn't burn evenly, meaning like the wick is closer to one side of the jar than the other. And so there's one side of the candle where the wax kind of builds up on the wall. And so I have this little knife that I like playing with the wax, pushing it down so that it burns evenly. And then you get this little knife and you get the wax on it, and then you can just sit it over the flame. I know it's childish, but it's the little things, man. You got to find something to do to entertain yourself while you're trading. Hey, there we go. Right on cue, Boogeyman. Well, it looks like that was our rally for the day into this order block and fair value gaps. Didn't get back above the 50% line there on EU. Just touched it on GU. We were looking for a little bit of a deeper dig into this OTE. So that may be the push. That may be all we get. We'll leave these orders set. I'll leave them on. There's no news today to be worried about to get any kind of crazy volatile price action from an economic impact event from that standpoint. So until they break these lows here, make a new daily low, I'll leave this order in place for right now. After a big move in London, sometimes the New York session just consolidates, and then you get another pump in New York to manipulate, and then another drop. So I was looking for the pump, just a little bit of a stronger pump there into that London push down. If we had used nice little OTE off of that swing. Gold leaving that low in place. So we might, all you gold traders out there who aren't chasing a trade right now, wait for a pullback here and you may still get that run out. Nice little pop on gold. GU pushing back up. EU pushing back up. That low on gold is from a long time ago. I mean, it's from Tuesday. Was that 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It's the low that created the fair value gap here. So if gold wants to push higher, I would imagine it wants to tap into at least that low into this weekly fair value gap right here. And we have a daily fair value gap identified. So right now it's trading. See how price respected this fair value gap? How the bodies of these candles all closed inside of it and push price higher. We're trading inside that fair value gap now. And if you get a closure below that fair value gap today, that could act as resistance tomorrow to push price through that low and into this fair value gap. So if it wants to run, again, what you're trying to do is look to see if price wants to go higher, it typically will want to go higher from a discounted area. So you're going to want to wait for price to come back into a discount so that it can run higher. It wants to pick up liquidity, pick up orders, get better entries for the whales, really. So where do the whales want to get in? Where do the guys that want to move the market? Where do the bankers? Where does the central bank? Where do they want? They want price to be lower so that they can then run it higher to capitalize on those big moves. GU pushed up one more time and getting rejection again off of that 15-minute order block. Euro dollar, this is the 5-minute breaker we were talking about. Last two down close candles, run liquidity, displaced through fair value gap, came right back up into this breaker. And I want it up here. I want price to push, fill in this fair value gap here. Get a good deep run on that London push. Oh. Cold makes me nervous. It's so unorganized. Well, I mean, it's gold, John. We know what it does. It does what you don't want it to do. One of the most heavily manipulated assets that people are just infatuated with trading. Ooh. Yeah, when I say manipulated, I just mean you see a lot of this. So anytime you see a lot of super wicky price action, that's manipulation. That's the run of liquidities into deep pockets of liquidity and then back out. So you don't see often a lot of, you see these massive wicks like this on gold quite often. And you just don't know when they're going to happen. You don't know when and where. Typically, it could just come out of nowhere. You get a massive spike. That's what I mean by manipulation. It doesn't move cleanly. It doesn't move super clean. I don't know if that's a great description. That's just how I think about it. So it's like accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So that word manipulation just means it's running liquidity aggressively, but it runs it not just aggressively, but deeper than you would anticipate on a normal quote unquote asset. So that's what I mean by manipulation. It's like you just get super big wicks And it's just so hard to determine where to put a safe stop on gold. You never feel like your stop is safe on gold, ever. Nothing in the last 20 minutes, man. We've got some orders set on GU and EU, got an alert set, looking for a deeper run. It doesn't look like we're going to get our deeper run, though. Gold is pushing back up. It ran this daily fair value gap, and now we're pushing back up inside of it. It left this nice drawn liquidity in place. Maybe that's today, maybe that's tomorrow. Thought we were going to get another pump on GU, but doesn't look like it wants to play. Oh. Did the author manipulate it? Why is it called manipulation? It's just... it's running stops. It's running orders. There's people that want to buy there. There's people that want to sell there. It's just viewed as, I don't know how to describe that well, I guess. It's a good question, John. If price is trending into one direction, and you would anticipate price to continue moving in that direction, then there's nothing that should alter that, and then you see a big spike for quote unquote no apparent reason. It's defined as a market maker manipulation, running stops, whatever. It is an ICT. I know he uses it, yeah. It's running liquidity, so I think it's a trader. It's a term traders have made up just to help them understand their stops are getting run, meaning that price should be going up and it shouldn't come below certain lows in their mind. If it does, then price was manipulated to go lower so that it can go higher. Manipulated by the market makers, manipulated by the algorithm, manipulated by the whales, manipulated by the people who actually move the market to clear out and pick up liquidity, pick up orders so that it can go where it truly wanted to go in the first place. Call it anything you like, really, John. I'd normally call it liquidity grab. Yeah, ICT and watching a sci-fi show both takes a certain amount of suspension of disbelief. Yeah, liquidity grab is fine. Gold just likes to do those, make very aggressive and deep liquidity grabs, I guess, if you don't want to call it manipulation. It just wants to run liquidity often and aggressively. EU setup. It's called manipulation because it's being manipulated. Yeah, pretty much. You hit the nail on the head. So my EU setup is just waiting for a pullback from this London move down. I want to trade in line with the London session. The London session is bearish. So I was waiting for a pullback into this order block up into the OTE area. That's my EU setup. High, the stop would be above the that 345 candle in the London session. Well put, Andy. I think if we're going to get into a trade, it's going to be GU, not EU. I don't think EU is going to make that deep of a run back up here. We're already 845, and it's showing a desire to go lower. GU kind of holding strong. We could get a pop, like a manipulation, a liquidity grab, a retest of that order block above these relative equal highs here. I could see that happening. I don't think Euro is gonna cooperate. Nothing else that really has my attention here right now. I still want to see Bitcoin pop above these highs, clear out that buy side liquidity before it drops down to the 30, at least 33,000. Oh. I'll stay on to the top of the hour, and we'll call it a day. About 10 more minutes. I didn't post these in the Discord. Should have done that. And let's grab the euro dollar one as well. Although I don't feel like we're going to get our entry there. If I was going to manipulate gold, it would be probably up into this high, into these highs, maybe that high. Here on the 30-minute time frame, 1 hour. You would want to see that order block hold in place, and then target that low. 4 hour, there's a lot of movement here. And if you're pulling off the last order block, you would want to see price get back up into those areas first. So it's a super strong rejection wick there off that daily fair value gap. Still a lot of day left there on gold to trade, so just could be a quick rebalance here. People taking profits from this big move down. I would not take this trade. That's just, if I'm just eyeballing, you would want to see this order block be respected. Oh. 'He never goes skill again. Only looks and tells us who we get to dance with. Yeah. I've taken a stiletto to the side of the head too many times. You think you're having the best time in the world, and then you wake up in the hospital and you don't remember why. Four-hour time frame here on GU, leaving behind a nice little fair value gap. Hopefully, as this 4-hour candle closes, we get one more wick up into that fair value gap, into that hourly order block, and then we can get another rapid descent here. All right, gentlemen and ladies, if there's any of you in there today, we're going to call it a day there. Leave these orders in place. Got my alerts set. If anything happens, we'll post it up on Discord. We'll see how the market responds over the next probably hour and a half. So 9, it's almost going to 9 o'clock. So yeah, 10:30. If we're not into a trade by 10:30, I'll cancel this either way. But I think that's good enough for today. Good stream. Thanks for being here. We'll be back again tomorrow, Wednesday at 7 a.m. New York time. And maybe we'll get a good joke from Mr. Alfie since we didn't get one yet today. Kind of disappointed in that. He's really got to step up his game tomorrow. So We'll see how it goes. But y'all stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy hunting, guys. Adios.